first story takes place 300 years ago on a lake. And by that lake there is a castle and a pier that stretches out to the center of the lake. And on the edge of that pier there's a girl. She's sitting on that pier staring into the lake and she's crying. Her mother's just died. And as she's crying into the lake, she's watching her tears hit the surface and ripple across the water. And she sees a strange form somewhere down in the water, too big to be a fish but too small to be a monster, and it's coming up towards her, and she sees beneath the ripples of her tears a face. It's got large black eyes, the sad eyes of a doe, and a strange smile around its mouth, not quite reaching. And she realizes it's the face of a man as it emerges from the water. "Who are you?" she says. "My father is the lord of this castle. He's very powerful if you need help." "No, Agneta," says the Lake King. "Agneta, I heard you crying. I've come up to meet you. You are the source of all my happiness." And he tells her that he is the king of this lake and he's lived beneath the waters for hundreds of years, longer than that castle has stood, and he will be there long after it's gone. In fact, this lake was once much larger, but of course, anything humans touch shrinks. Agneta looks at him, taken aback, and realizes he's quite handsome. Purplish around the face, his locks sticking to his bones. She says, "Isn't it strange down there under the sea?" "Oh no," he says, "you humans think anything is strange if you haven't been there, but it's beautiful. The light shines twice as bright through the water, but it doesn't burn us. And its storms up above rattle your world, it's quiet below. Why don't you come with me? Let me show you." "Oh, no, no thank you," says Agneta. My mother's just passed away. My father is grieving. He'll be terribly worried if I don't come home. Goodbye." "Very well," says the Lake King. "At least give me the lime blossom pinned to your dress so I can smell it and remember you." And she blushes. And she takes the lime blossom, reaches out to give it to him, and his long webbed fingers touch the petals, and then they stroke across her skin, reach up around her wrist, grab it, and tug. She screams for a moment, watching the sky sail above her as she hits the water, and is fine. She can breathe. How amazing, and it's quite lovely down here. And what was her name again? Oh, well, that doesn't matter. The Lake King takes her further under the water to his castle, and as she goes down, she sees the sun shining through the water like golden fire, and fishes circling around her head like soundless birds. And he takes her into the banquet hall of his castle, and he says, "This is where we'll be wed." And he gets out a harp, starts playing for her the saddest song she's ever heard. It breaks her heart, and she can't remember why she should be so sad. And then she looks into his eyes and he starts to sing, and it all goes away. All memories of her lost mother, her father who'll be worrying for her, her happy childhood on earth, it's gone. All she sees is his face, his large black eyes, his smile. And he finishes his song and he says, "Agneta, will you be with me for always and forever?" And she says, "Yes," because there's nothing left but to say yes. And they're married. And 7 years pass, and in that time she gives him 7 sons. 7 sons in 7 years. And they all look exactly like their father, large black eyes, a strange smile that doesn't quite reach. And one day, she's rocking her youngest baby boy in his cradle below the water, and she hears a sound breaking through the surface. Bells. What are bells? And she remembers suddenly that bells are a thing that ring. And there's no time under the water, but she remembers somehow that bells ring on Sundays. Sundays are a day for a thing that her father used to do, church. And she remembers suddenly a life up above. And she feels so sad. she puts her youngest down in the cradle and goes to her husband and says, I must go above, I must hear the bells. There's a look of alarm in his face, like this is not something he ever expected. And he says, why? She says, I don't know, but I feel like if I don't go up there and listen to them, I'll die. And he says, very well, but you must be back by nightfall. If you don't come back, your children won't survive. And she laughs and she says, well, of course I'll be back. I love you. I love our life. I love our children. Why wouldn't I come back? And he sighs, a deep sigh, but he doesn't say anything else. He takes her hand and they shoot up like an arrow to the surface, and he places her on the edge of the pier and disappears without a word, which is strange. But she's back on the surface and, Agneta! That's her name! And her head is all mixed up. She's looking around and she sees suddenly the sun is bright and warm on her skin in a way she hasn't felt warmth in so long. And the smells, my God, she'd forgotten about smells and the sound of birds and colours everywhere. It's like she hasn't been alive for 7 years. And she follows the sound of those bells all the way into town to the church. It's a small sandstone building, and inside all the people are on their knees with their hands together. She doesn't really care about that. She sees one person in the crowd. It's an old knight with a long white beard. And he's not like the other people. He hasn't got his hands together. He's got his face in his hands and he's crying. He looks haggard, he looks old, older than the last time she saw him, because she's seen him before, she remembers. And his tears are slipping between his fingers and down his forearms. And she knows why he's crying. It's not just because her mother's dead, it's because she's been gone for a long time. She has a father. And she stands on the threshold for a while, trying to think what to say, work up the courage to go forward, to tell him, I'm here, I'm back. When suddenly there's a coldness that passes over, like a cloud over the sun. And the wind wraps around her, and the saint statues in the church, all their faces turn away from her. And a shadow falls over her back, the shadow of a man, and she hears his voice. Agneta, Agneta, it's time to come home. She can't look. She remembers now, she remembers what he is. Agneta, Agneta, your children are crying for you. Come home now. She won't look. She won't move. She keeps her eyes on the ground. Finally, the voice says, Agneta, I told you they won't survive without you. If you don't come home, I'll kill them. Her face is white with pain then. Her fingernails break the skin of her palms, but she doesn't look. She says, no. No, I won't go back. I know what you are now. Tell my children I love them, and tell them that you stole me. Anything else is your choice. And she feels a sigh, and the shadow passes back, and the door of the church slams, and it's like the sun comes out again. He's gone. She looks up, and she sees her father's face. He's looking at her with these bright eyes, as if to say, is it you? Are you back? And she wants to say, yes, it's me. I've been gone for a long time in a castle under the water, but I'm back now. I'm here for you. But she can't find the words. So she reaches out with a hand, and that says enough. And father and daughter take each other's hands, and they walk out of the church and into the sunlight. Thank you. Now, our second story is a different kind of spiriting away, one that's a little lighter and with a little more food. And it's called The Makers of Dreams.